Would you agree that Respawn today is a totally different Respawn than it was back in 2014 to 2016? And let's just say, what if Respawn is planning to make our beloved Titanfall 3 or a new installment to the Titanfall/Apex universe? Would it actually hit the same and fill our hearts full of joy the way Titanfall 1 and 2 did? And would it be good enough that we'd still be talking about it and playing it 10 years later from the date of its release, like a lot of us are right now with Titanfall 1 and 2? Many of you guys watching this video would probably agree that Respawn has changed a lot since 2014. After all, 10 years is a long time. People move on, career paths change, and greed can take over, which is something I'll touch base on later on in this video. But the games that Respawn made in this case, Titanfall 1 and 2, they are frozen in time and give us that nostalgic feeling of how we felt playing them on our own or with friends upon their release, and grinding them for many hours to perfect our movement and gun skill to brag about how we owned an entire lobby in multiplayer, or even just playing the campaign over and over again. Still, to this day, the replayability of these games are so good and hold up so well. The gameplay in either the campaign or multiplayer is miles above any modern day shooters that are around today. Titanfall 1 and 2 were both lightning in a bottle. They were so original to themselves and so much work and effort went into them, and you can clearly see that. They speak for themselves. And personally, I've never played Titanfall 1, but I've heard many good things from all of you in my comments on my videos, and also by watching gameplay videos of Titanfall on YouTube myself. The whole concept of the games was so great, with Titanfall 2's story giving us fans a deeper connection to the world that we were playing in after Titanfall was such a big success. And another thing I think which made these games so great is the amount of people that actually worked on both of these games. A team of 90 people developed the games, compared to some games now having hundreds of devs working on a single AAA game, which I think is a big contribution to Titanfall's success. The reason I think that is because a small team of devs could work closer together, forming better relationships, meaning happier working conditions, and in turn having more love for what they are doing, and not having as many people with different opinions on the direction of the game could go, causing confusion or the game just losing its identity. Now, one example that comes to mind straight away as it sticks out like a sore thumb with games losing their identity is Call of Duty. Just look how good their games were back in the day, and as they've grown in resources and money, the games have pretty much lost their identity in terms of their bundles as one example, like selling pop singers as skins, like Nicki Minaj, and well, do I need to say any more, because if you know you know, and I can easily say that Call of Duty fell from grace. But that's a whole other topic, and we're talking about Titanfall here. I just thought it was a good example, as look how many studios they have developing different Call of Duty games, and I do feel because of that it's just a little all over the place. I do think that sometimes less is more, and in Titanfall's case it was definitely true. Obviously, having more devs working on a game does have its benefits as well, but like I said, I do think Titanfall got it just right. So what makes Respawn different now to how it was 10 years ago is that in November 2017, the big money-hungry company themselves, EA, bought Respawn, causing some top-quality devs to leave the company, and later in 2020, two devs, Drew McCoy and John Shiring, which were two of Respawn's top dogs at the time, left Respawn to create their own AAA gaming studio called Gravity Well, bringing some more devs from Respawn with them. Some people might have thought that EA owned Respawn when they brought out Titanfall 1 and 2, but EA at that time only published them. Now guys, that's just the most simplified and quickest way I could explain that, so if any of you would like to add any more information on that side of things, please feel free to write it down in the comments. There are still many original developers working at Respawn, but I'm just curious to see what this newest project of Respawn's will bring to the table, and how much of its lost talent will affect their magic touch. At the start of this video, I mentioned greed and how it can take over, and I don't know when EA thought it was okay to charge upwards of $600+ for prestige skins in Apex Legends, roughly $20 for gun skins or legend skins, and that's not even getting into bundles, and they have even added this new currency called exotic shards, which cost $39.99 just so you can buy one gun skin. They are robbing the player base right in front of our faces, and I'm not hating on anyone who buys these skins or bundles. They do look really cool and they are nice to have, but it's shown EA that they can charge whatever they want and people will buy them, and it's not going to stop. I do buy the battle passes, but that's about it. The prices are shockingly expensive, and don't get me wrong, Apex Legends is still going strong, but the prices are getting way out of hand, and I really do feel it lets the game down immensely. I certainly wouldn't spend my hard-earned money on over-expensive recolors or prestige skins. I'm assuming that it's not the devs that make up these crazy prices, and that it's just EA saying jump and Respawn saying how high. And I also appreciate that the devs have to get paid for their work, but these types of prices are just a joke. Can you imagine if EA did this exact same kind of thing for this new game that is supposedly in development? It would take away a lot of joy and definitely annoy a lot of players, even possibly losing players. This is what makes gaming so different now to the way it was back then. Although microtransactions were present at the time of Titanfall 1 and 2 in the gaming world, I didn't think they were trying to milk us for all we are worth, and it was quite modest in terms of prices for skins and camos, and I never do mind supporting companies that provide us with great games. The other side of that argument is that this is just the times that we're in right now, and that's just the prices that we have to pay. But I just can't fully get behind that, as people work hard for their money and you can do so much better things with $50 to $60 than buy bundles, skins, etc. In our minds, us fans have this ideal image of what we want in a new Titanfall game, whether it be Titanfall 3 or a game based in the Titanfall/Apex universe, based off how Titanfall 1 and 2 make us feel now. I've previously talked about in my other videos of what I would think would be cool to see if a new game was developed, which you can go and check out on my channel, and without going too much into it, it would just be cool to see a continuation from the story of Titanfall 2, whatever that may be. I know it's easy for me to say that, but it's the least the fans would expect. The multiplayer wouldn't have to change too drastically, as of right now it's pretty perfect, possibly adding new abilities, new titans and new cosmetics. The only thing I'd be concerned about is how they would replicate the movement style and mechanics to a new engine if they wanted to have updated graphics, which would kind of be a given since they would be releasing the game in more modern times. I know that many games in the past have tried this before and not succeeded, and Titanfall is known so much for its movement, if they didn't get that right, the whole thing could fail. The one thing that I do know is that if they decided to continue on with the story, or just develop a new game in the Titanfall/Apex universe, there's a lot of pressure riding on Respawn, as us fans at this stage expect so much. It might be even possible to say that we love it so much and expect so much, we could even ruin it for ourselves. There's a lot of ways to look at this topic, and the possibilities seem pretty endless at this point, and it's all just everyone's speculation, as nothing's been said, but so many of us are watching like hawks. I just thought this was an interesting topic to talk about, and I'm sure there are a lot of you out there with some interesting takes on everything I spoke about in this video. So guys, you know exactly what to do. Let me know all of your thoughts and feelings on if we were to be graced with a new installment of the Titanfall franchise. Would it live up to our hopes and expectations, or would it be a shadow of its former self? That's not to say we still can't have hope. I'll never stop loving the Titanfall franchise no matter what, and I've never taken my pills, and I hope you can all say the same. Thank you all so much guys for watching, I really appreciate it, especially if you made it this far into the video. If you're new and want to see more, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, and leave the video a like for the algorithm. See you all on the frontier guys.